I'm 34 years old, got a useless college degree, no art career. I've been working in a factory to pay my bills. I'm still living at home with my mother. I would definitely say I have a screen time addiction, a bit of a gaming addiction, maybe some gifted child complex thrown into the mix, letting my life pass me by, but I'm turning this ship around. So, yeah, I'm Bright Cat. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Life has kind of been a lot, but not at the same time. Like, these years have really just been flying by. Like, we're already almost all the way through 2025. That's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, it's been about 9 years since I posted on this channel, with the exception of the little video I put up a few days ago to say that I'm back. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy. A lot has been going through my mind lately, and I just want to kind of talk about it a little bit and talk about, my current state of affairs, what my plans are, or how I'm trying to improve things. There's definitely been times where I felt like I probably should just give up on the whole idea of even being an artist. It's just been, I haven't done anything with it. But there's still that part of me that is refusing to let go, and I'm not gonna give up on it. But I do have a lot of self-doubt. I have a lot of lack of commitment, not only to my art, but to myself. I would say starting since like 2024, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. I've been journaling. I even went to therapy for a bit, which, is nothing to be ashamed of, because I felt like I was really spinning my wheels for a while. I'm like, okay, maybe I need some outside perspective on what I'm going through. But like I said, I never really gave up on doing art. I definitely let it wither for a bit, but I would always still pick up commissions here and there, do a few illustrations here and there, but nothing really meaty, no completed projects. I actually have a really bad problem with starting projects. Like, I am really good at ideating. I can come up with stories. I can come up with characters. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make this comic book. I'm gonna do this little short animation. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make these drawings. I wanna make these fan characters for games I'm playing right now. And I'll start sometimes. It might not even ever actually leave my head, and I'll just be thinking about it. I do a lot of thinking. That's another problem I have. I'll think about a lot of stuff that I want to do, but then I don't actually do it. I'll just keep adding to the pile of unfinished work, unfinished illustrations, unfinished comics, unfinished animations, and it just, as soon as it starts getting difficult or boring, my brain's like, nah, I don't really feel this anymore. My motivation to finish this is now all of a sudden gone. And then I start, doing the whole rationalization things. Like, girl, you work 10 hours a day in a goddamn factory. You're tired. You should just sit down, relax, play some games, sit on your phone, watch YouTube a bit. You don't have to do anything. You worked so hard, those kinds of rationalizations. And guess what? I don't get anything accomplished. And on the weekend, it's like, oh, you work so hard all week long, and you deserve a break. Here, let's watch 5 episodes of this anime you need to catch up on, and, then watch more hours of YouTube on your phone, and then scroll on Reddit for another few hours. And then the next thing I know, it's nighttime again, and I haven't gotten anything done. Maybe a few chores around the house. That's about it. But yeah, like I said, I've been spending a lot of time reflecting on this, my behavior, and really the hardest obstacle I'm finding in anything and everything that I'm dealing with right now is myself. I had to take a really long, hard look at myself in the mirror and recognize, I can blame this, that, and the other. I can blame being one of those gifted child prodigy things or whatever, or just, maybe my parents didn't do this, or why didn't I do that in the past, and, put blame, but never really taking responsibility for my own actions. But that's something I really want to change. So now as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm really focusing on taking responsibility for my actions, responsibility for the direction I want to go. And, I got to start with me. I got to start at the roots, little bits at a time. I need to really build my self-confidence back up because I've been letting myself down for so long. Giving up on myself for so long, feeling guilty, feeling like I'm not good enough, like what's the point of even trying, trying to really dig into those negative mindsets and dismantling them. Also, which is very important, giving more of a damn about my health, like my physical health, in addition to my mental health, because I only have one body. We only have one body out here. There is no reset. We only have one life. And when people go into their 30s and 40s, that's when, the habits you make really start setting you up for the rest of your life. Like, I really want to make sure that I age gracefully and I still have my independence and health when I get into my elder years. I know that's like such a far-fetched, far-flung into the future type thing to think about, because I'm not really like old, but I know I can certainly be doing better. I can definitely be doing a lot more exercise. I can definitely be eating healthier. In addition to that, making sure the spaces around me is kept clean, tidy, because that also can affect your health. Because if you are living in a dusty, dirty environment, you're gonna have like allergen issues, you can have respiratory issues. I do suffer from allergies. I have 3 cats in my house, so there's dander, there's hair, then of course human dander in our hair. So yeah, I'm trying to tunnel down in on that too. It's really the mental that's holding me back, my own mental fortitude or lack thereof, and then a lot of it is also like kind of rooted in fear. I'm like scared of what people will think of me. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared of not being good enough. I know these are excuses, and really it's time to be tough on myself and give myself the love I deserve, because it all starts with self-love. I can't always rely on outside external validation. I have to start self-validating. I have to start proving to myself that I can do these things. I have to prove to myself I can maintain my commitments to myself. So, going into the winter time and into next year, I'm really focusing on building better habits, better systems, making better routines for myself, not giving myself those easy outs for doing what I'm supposed to do, not letting myself say, oh, I'm tired after work, I'll skip the gym today, or I'm tired after work, I'll skip going for a walk today. Or it's like, oh, I'm in a bad mood, I'm gonna eat half a tub of ice cream. I mean, I typically don't really use comfort foods too much, but I can get in those moods on occasion. I will say this, that I'm pretty blessed, I guess, in terms of my genetics. Like I'm not overweight, really. Maybe a little bit chunky, but I'm not obese or anything like that. But I guess that's only because I don't use food as my vice. I use video games as my vice instead, so I'm not always eating. I'm just sitting around. So I'm not eating a lot of calories, but I'm still just sitting, which is also quite bad for my cardiovascular. Like, if anything, my body's conditioning wasn't good. I will say that this year I have been making a lot more of an effort to exercise regularly, so my blood pressure has improved. I did have a little bit of blood pressure problems from my lack of activity, especially on weekends. Pulmonary, lungs has gotten better. My endurance has gotten a little bit better, and this is like with a very, very minor but regular exercise. I try to make it a point to go to the park and walk after work if I don't feel like lifting. If I do feel like lifting, I'm not going crazy. I'm just doing just enough to challenge my body. I'm still not very strong at this point, so I'm not like, throwing weights around or anything like that. I'm doing just enough to get a pretty decent workout in, and then that's it. Like half an hour, 45 minutes at the gym, and then I'm out of there. Half an hour walk after work, then I'm going home. Also, really trying to maintain good sleep. Maintaining good sleep is incredibly important. I know for a lot of my life, I considered myself a night owl, but the world doesn't revolve around night owls. And I use being a night owl as an excuse to stay up very late. I used it as an excuse to sleep in very late, especially in my teenage and early 20s, where I'll just be up on the game till like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning until my dad come in the room and be like, go to bed. My dad would come in the room, he'd be like, get off this damn game and go to bed. That's how bad it would be. Granted, that was a very long time ago. Unfortunately, my dad has long since passed, but I remember that. I don't know, is it like one of those, you're using up all this damn electricity in his house? Maybe not that, but he had to kick me off the game, which is crazy because he was a gamer too. Anyway, that's all beside the point. Yeah, but I'm trying to rebuild my mental health a bit, rebuild my physical health a bit. Not that I've ever been sickly, but just unconditioned, untrained, lazy, weak. I'm not really those. I gotta shift my mindset. It's not that I've been lazy and weak. It's just that I haven't felt motivated to do better. But now I'm motivated. And even when I'm not motivated, I'm still motivated because I still have to do what I need to do, whether I feel like it or not. So, I'm trying to change my habits for when I'm in a bad state. Like, one of those moods where you're just really tired. You don't want to get up and clean. You don't want to get up and go to the gym, or you don't want to do anything after work because you're tired. I'm like, am I really tired? Yeah, I am tired after work. That is a long day. 10 hours is a long day. But I can manage like a 25-minute walk, like a leisurely pace walk. Like I'm not giving myself those little outs anymore, because 9 times out of 10, I still got gas in the tank. This habit rebuilding is also extending to my art. I'm gonna try to extend that to my art to build consistency with what I want to work on. I gotta force myself to finish these projects. I have no problem in the ideation phase. I'll even do some character sketches. I'll write a little bit. But then it's like once you start getting into the slog, the production, that's when my brain does that thing where it's like, I'll psych myself out of doing it. Like, I will literally sit here, sabotage myself, and be like, you're not really good enough to do this. You know what? this isn't gonna accomplish anything, or this is a waste of time. No one's gonna like this. You don't even really like this. You think it's fun for right now. You put it out there and no one's gonna care. Like those kinds of self-sabotaging thoughts. And I'm like, or even better, like I'll get to the part where it's like, oh, well, this is just really a ripoff of XYZ. And I'm like, yeah, actually it might be, because those things inspired me. But really, I just start throwing wrenches into my own plans. Like there's some stories I've been kicking around in my head for almost a decade and a half. That's how long some of the story. And then, you know, I have like started trying to make comic pages, started trying to draw these characters, and then my lack of confidence gets in the way. I'm like, oh, this looks terrible. Like, I'm not very confident with drawing humans at all. I think that's the main. Okay, so here's the crazy part, right? The main reason why I draw only like dragons and furry characters is because I'm very, very unconfident with how I draw humans. That is it. I draw a person and I'm like, oh my god, why does this person look like they're missing 5 chromosomes? And rather than practicing and getting through the stage of being bad at drawing humans, I just give up. You know what? I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna go draw some more dragons. Dragons make me happy. I don't care about drawing these. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with drawing people. I don't want to draw hands. Although sometimes, you know, I draw anthro characters. They have hands. But I can draw paws on their feet instead of feet. So I could just, you know, and then I just don't practice. I don't practice. I hate drawing backgrounds. I don't want to draw backgrounds. I don't want to practice drawing backgrounds. I don't want to practice lighting. So you can see how my own mindset is really sabotaging my artistic growth in a lot of ways. Or like that's probably one of the reasons why I gave up on animation early on, is because it was a lot of work. It was so much work. And I didn't like the way a lot of it came out. Like, at first I thought it was fun. But then somewhere along the way it became, oh, well, this doesn't look very good, or I have to work so much. I don't have time to really spend on these shorts or animations that I want to make. I don't have time, and it just spiraled from there. I just gave up. And you know, I look back on, you know, how I've been with all of this, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of where I'm at. Now, to be fair, I'm not in a terrible state right now. I'm not in a terrible state physically, mentally, and emotionally. But I'm trying to like very objectively look at how my life has been going, where it's going to go in the future. And I want to be able to build something I'm proud of. I don't want to just be and no shame to blue collar work, no shame to white collar work, no shame to working your 9 to 5, because you know what that provides? That provides stability, that provides you a steady paycheck, health benefits. This is speaking from a person who lives in the United States of America, okay? I have no issue with that. The problem is that it's very unfulfilling. It's unfulfilling to me. The work that I do is incredibly unfulfilling. Yes, it puts money in the bank and food on my plate. I am fortunate for that. It allows me to build my savings and all that. I have my health bennies. Cool. It's not my dream. It's not my company. It's not my business. I have really no emotional investment in it, other than, you know, I still always want to do a good job at my job. Like, I always do that. Like, my work ethic is always good, but it's not fulfilling to me. And I think my soul is crying out. Like, you know, I'm sure anybody with any time to think at their job, they sit there and like don't lie to yourself. You sat there at your desk or in your workstation or on the job when you have a moment of quiet and you're like, how the hell did I get to this point? Why am I working this shit? Like, why am I doing this? For what? For who? It's not for me. This is somebody else's dream. I'm just helping them to make their money. They give me a little bit. I don't want to leave this world without having ever properly tried. I am scared of trying, like giving it my honest shot, because if it doesn't work out, it's like, then I feel like, what do I have left? What do I have left? But I can't let that fear keep stopping me. So that's why I'm putting together this channel to hopefully like document my progress. That way people can see it is possible. It is possible to build something. Even if you've felt like you've given up, even if you've stopped before or keep stopping and starting, it's not the end. It's not the end until it's the end. I could be 50 years old and still give, making something of myself a shot. It's not too late until you're dead. That's the way I feel. Because, there's been stories, you could go on any, older person's YouTube, they say, oh yeah, I'm a 56-year-old new grandmother and I'm making this YouTube channel about whatever, or, I'm this dude who hasn't done anything, and people could still try. So why can't I still try? I'm not ready to throw in the towel quite just yet. I'm not going to resign myself to having a completely mediocre life, unless I was genuinely happy with that. If I was genuinely happy with where I am now, then I wouldn't be making this video. There's nothing wrong with being happy with your current situation in life, because there are people that are happy, that they're just okay with going to work every day. They have the things that make them happy. There's still things that I feel like I'm lacking in my life. I do want to add, for people who will be following along on my journey, if anybody, I know these early videos probably won't really get much of any views. This one is already probably going to be quite long. I want to, number one, say that I am neurotypical, as far as I know. I've never been tested for anything. If I have had depression, sorry, that was my phone notification. If I have had depression, I was never clinically diagnosed. And I think it might have been cases of acute depression because, shit's happened in my life. But I've recovered from that. I do feel like I get seasonal affectivity disorder due to lack of sunlight in the wintertime. So I'm thinking of getting some UV lamps to combat that. Anyway, that's besides the point. But from my baseline, so people know where I'm starting from. Yes, I am neurotypical. I do not have ADD or ADHD. I don't think I'm autistic in any capacity, though there are sometimes I have to wonder about myself. I am in a stable home. I have a stable job, a car, stable income. So those are not really concerns that I have to face. I know there are people out there who do have to face that every day. I do not have children. I only got one mouth to feed, and that's mine, essentially. Not to say that I don't contribute groceries to the household, because I do. And I do feed my cat. I buy him food, obviously. I do consider my cat my son, my cat Metro, and he's the love of my life. I'm trying to get my boyfriend to claim him as his son, because if it wasn't for my boyfriend, I wouldn't have this cat, okay? But he refuses and says that's not my son, but it is his son. But anyway, that's a nice little tangent. That's a tangent, a whole tangent. I don't know how often I'll make these kind of life talk update videos, maybe kind of once a month, because there is only a limited amount of time I have during the week to really dig into art or making video, and that is on the weekends. So I don't want to make videos that I only have just a little bit of progress. Or maybe I will just kind of really short videos about, okay, well, I'm trying this new system, or I'm trying these new habits, where I'm going with that. As far as my art is concerned, I still have to find a project that I really want to stick to and finish all the way through to the end. I'm thinking of trying like different ways of making income with my art. I dabbled with Etsy last year, but I really fell off with that. I do still take art commissions, but that's been pretty slow lately as well. And I don't know, like I'm gonna try to do a graphic novel. That's a lot of work. They say like minimum amount for like a pretty, I mean, you can make a comic of really any length. You can make a comic of any length, but like something with chapters, like a higher page count, that will take a lot of time to produce because I can't draw full time. I'm not currently in a financial situation where I can just quit my job, my quote unquote 9 to 5. I need that still. I'm not making enough income elsewhere to do that. So this is gonna really be me being currently a part-time artist. I'm also probably gonna have to really be mean to myself and make myself practice. Do videos about practicing. Really challenge myself with drawing things that I am not comfortable with drawing. Like, okay, I don't like drawing humans whatsoever, but I'm gonna really have to force myself to do that, to expand my skill set, expand my repertoire, because I'm a person of creature comforts. I will draw what's easy and what's fun to me and not really want to challenge myself. I like staying in my box. I don't like going outside the box. I don't like change. Change is hard, change is scary, okay? But one thing I learned recently, well, not that I learned recently, but one thing that I've reheard, I guess you could say, recently is that I have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's one of my biggest challenges, is learning how to be uncomfortable, having difficult conversations, having to push myself, having to handle things I never thought I would have to handle. But the fact of the matter is I'm a grown adult, I'm a whole ass woman, and I'm gonna have to deal with these adult problems because my mother is elderly now. She's not gonna be able to do all these things for me, and I don't want her to anymore. She should not have to worry about that. I'm taking care of her now. Okay, I'm taking care of her now. I'm, trying to live my life. I have my boyfriend, my friends. It's time for me to really own up to being an adult in this world. It's like, and that's hard. So I felt like a kid for so long. I'm still living at home in my childhood home. And that's pretty scary. Like, I just feel like a big kid, a teenager a lot of the time. And that's like, oh, well, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that sounds like what a toddler would say. That sounds like what a toddler would say or a kid would say. It's like, no, I don't want to practice. No, I don't want to go to work. I'm really going to have to be mean to myself now. I can't just let myself keep just doing what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have to do things that I don't want, but I know it's beneficial. I don't want to exercise, but guess what? I'm gonna exercise. I don't want to not waste time. Like, I want to waste time on my phone. I don't want to waste time on the game, but guess what? I can't keep doing that all the time. I want to eat candy and junk food, and not to be gross, but like, especially around that time of the month, my carb cravings go through the roof. I just want ice cream, chocolate, and bread. Like, just give me those. I can't keep doing that, because then my body's gonna feel bad. I'm gonna feel sluggish, and what you eat is very important to nourish and fuel your body. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. I'm already taking steps to go in the direction that I want to go. Like I said, through 2024 into this year, I did a lot of journaling, a lot of self-reflection. I just recently finished reading the The Power of Atomic Habits or Atomic Habits. I don't remember exactly. By James Clear. I'm trying to incorporate some of the things that I learned from that book and really just start small. Start with little things that are easy, because ultimately humans are creatures of comfort. We want to do what's easy. We're motivated to do what's easy and won't take up a lot of time. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And yeah, really, I don't know if I have really much more else to add. I will say this also, just as at the end here. I'm not gonna give up video games entirely, but I'm gonna have to really be strict with myself and how much I'm playing versus how much I'm working on my projects. And I think I had to really think about this. I'm rationalizing to myself, oh well, if I make a gaming YouTube channel, then I can still play video games and do something productive. But I'm gonna have to really be honest with myself. Am I just using that as an excuse to play hours of video games and then never get around to editing and uploading those videos? So that probably may or may not happen. If I do make a gaming channel, I'm gonna have to really be mindful of how much I'm playing, in addition to being mindful of how much effort I'm putting into that channel. Because if I'm doing it just to play games and not doing any work, then it's wasted time. I can't keep wasting time. It's like, well, yes, I'm not old. I still potentially have a long life left to live, but tomorrow is not guaranteed. That is like another one of the lies I've been telling myself. It's like, oh, I've got time to figure it out. Oh, I've got time to figure it out. When my whole 20s, that's all I ever told myself. Last time I checked, humans don't live forever. I'm not gonna live forever. And I can't keep wasting time like this. So I'm gonna live like there's no tomorrow. I'm gonna start doing shit. I know live like there's no tomorrow is like usually kind of put in a reckless connotation. Like, YOLO, right? But I mean, in a way, that's kind of true. You do only live once. So don't waste it. Don't waste your time. I'm done wasting my time. And these videos are gonna help keep me accountable. I think this is like another layer of accountability, and I know this is really deep into the video. I know a bazillion people are never gonna even see this part or listen to this part, but I want y'all to, just check in on me. Comment, hey, have you been working on such and such? Or hey, I've been trying this and that and the other. How have you been doing on this, that, and the other? If you want to, like, I'm not asking you guys to keep on me about stuff. That's not your job. But I think if I see a comment like that, it's like, oh no, I haven't done what I said I was gonna do, and now I'm letting people down. I know that's external validation. That's external validation. I can't rely on that. But I mean, sometimes you do need a little bit of external nudging. Yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough. I've already long since extended past my little outline here for this video. I thought this was gonna be like maybe 15 minutes. It's probably going to be way longer than that. I don't know if anyone's even going to listen to anything. Maybe some of this might resonate with people. Maybe not. I'm talking into the void at this point. So, whatever happens. We'll see how things go. And I hope y'all have a great day, a great week. It's Sunday. Getting ready to go back into the work week. And I hope whatever y'all get into, it goes well. So until next time, y'all take care. I'll see you back here whenever. All right, bye.